Just going to jump right into questions. We'll begin with Ryan Aber of the Oklahoman and then go to Eric Bailey.
Yeah, Calvin, I was curious what the conversations with your players have been like, not only in the last week as these issues, social justice issues have come back to the forefront, but really over the last few months and what last Friday was like with the action that y'all took as a team.
Well, last Friday was awesome. It stemmed from a team meeting where Coach gave the players, coaches a platform to speak what was on their mind. And, you guys just, we want to see change. The players wanted to see change. And, we wanted to stand together as one. And I thought, it was awesome to have a head coach to go out there and, allow us to march together and, and lead and be, be in the center of the forefront. So it was awesome, man. It was awesome that he gave us that platform to be able to speak our minds, and it was really good.
Appreciate it.
We'll go to Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World and then Joe Bettner.
Calvin, thanks a bunch, man, for your time today. Appreciate it.
All right.
Hey, junior college transfers usually take time to adapt to their new schools, but Perrion Winfrey has had to really learn things on the fly. What's impressed you the most about his fall camp, and what parts does he still need to continue to prove on as we get ready for the season opener?
With junior college guys, particularly, being a January enrollee, you hope to get the spring ball and him get transition from that JUCO mentality to now a Sooner, and we didn't get that, with spring being canceled. But you can tell, 6'4". 295. He's long. He's athletic. He can do it. And it's just taking him. He got to do it on game day, but he's forming good habits. In the midst of a pandemic. So I'm proud of him. He got work to do like everybody else, but you can see that. The skills are there.
Thanks, Calvin.
Okay, Joe Bettner with the Norman transcript, and then Jason Kersey.
Calvin, I'm curious, just from your time playing to where it is now, I'm just curious what you make of how college football players are maybe able to use their voice and their platform more than when you were playing. I'm curious what you make of all that, and as far as your guys, especially speaking out.
Yeah, it seemed like it's completely different. It seemed like these guys have a bigger voice, due to social media and being able to speak what's on their mind. I just, we didn't have that platform. It kind of, Facebook and things like that kind of formed sort of late. But it's completely different now. But it's a good thing, as long as they're voicing it, and it's, respectful and it's, and done in an intelligent way, coach, encourage them to do so. So it's been pretty good.
Okay, Jason Kersey with The Athletic, and then John Hoover.
Yeah. Hey, Calvin. When you've got to when you coach such an important position at nose guard, and you've got to replace basically who's contributed over the last couple of years, and then you don't have the spring and this weird situation. Can you just describe how difficult this has been for you to get these guys ready? And do you think that they're game ready? Have they had enough time?
Well, you never know if they're game ready until the game, but I think the way we do things here and the way Coach Grant sets everything up, it's allowed us to get as many reps as we possibly can, through walkthrough times and just how we practice. I do feel like, when we get to the game, these guys will have a great idea, have a great sense of what we want to get accomplished. But I think part of that is through Coach Grinch and, as many walkthroughs as we do, and how he breaks it down, and those guys are able to get so many reps. I think they'll have it figured out hopefully before the first game.
Thanks.
Okay, John Hoover with SI Sooners, and then Bob Prisbillo.
Hey, Calvin, Jason kind of jumped on my question, so I want to ask it maybe a little bit different way. How many guys in a normal year would you have in your room at D tackle?
In a normal room, you would hope for, hopefully to have like 7 or 8, something like that.
Okay, so this year, with Alex talking about multiple guys having to play multiple positions, or at least be ready to play multiple positions, how has that changed your preparation? Is it now 15 guys in your room, or is it the same 7 or 8?
I wouldn't say it's 15 now, but you train more guys because the opportunity is going to present themselves, and we've cross trained some guys, we've cross trained some DNs, just in case the opportunity presents themselves. We don't know what the season's going to throw at us, so we want to make sure that we're ready for all situations.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, Bob Prisbilla with Sooner Scoop, and then James Hale.
Calvin, just sort of wondering about the relationship you're building with Jamar Kane. What's the biggest thing, or what's been the biggest things that he's really added to the room?
He's a stud, man. He's a great teacher. He's been good for the team. Good energy. Really great recruiter, and man, he's just been a bonus to our staff. So he brought some things from Arizona State, and it's been good for us. Anytime you're on this staff together, man, the camaraderie is going to be great. And that starts with our head coach. It starts with our defensive coordinator. So it's been really, really good. It's been a blessing to have him on staff.
James Hale with KREF, and then Keegan Renault.
Calvin, how you doing, man? Appreciate you coming on. Hey, Calvin, if you could talk about your group, because you lose Gallimore, you bring in JUCOs, but you have Redmond back and Stokes and some guys. Talk about how they're doing and who's coming on. And you were unique in that you played at OU as well as coached at OU. And these guys are going through so much. How do you think they're handling all the things that's on their plate right now?
I'm proud of their commitment and what they're, trying to get done. Obviously this year is like no other, and all the stuff that they're faced with off the field. But, I don't think anybody can, question their commitment to the season. I know Oklahoma, we celebrate champions, but it's my hope that this team will be celebrated in a manner like no other, neither, just due to what we're attempting to do and what we're faced with. But the guys have been well. They're hungry. They're eager to make a name for themselves. I've been excited about the group, when we've been healthy and when I've gotten a chance to see it in whole, I've seen some really promising things. I look at a guy like Corey Robeson. He's done a pretty good job for us. He's grown. He's taken advantage of his reps. You look at a guy like Jordan Kelly, a guy who's been part of the program. He's grown. And you see that, which adds to our depth. Perrion Winfrey, when everything's on, he can do it. He can do it at a, really high level. But, you look at LaRon Stokes, who's played, and, he's doing some really good things. And I'm pretty sure I'm probably missing somebody. Josh Ellison, he's doing some good stuff. And, Isaiah Thomas is kind of swung both back and forth. And due to the scheme, it allows him to be really active and penetrate gaps, and he's really done some good things for us. So I've been happy with those guys, and I'm just excited to. It's one thing to see something in practice, and you think but until that game comes, do they trust their training? Will they go? Some guys, when game day comes, they even turn it up another notch. So I'm just eager to see what it looks like on game day.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks.
Okay, Keegan Renault with Sooners Wire, and then Joey Helmer.
Yeah, Calvin, I'm just curious. Just obviously year two, the guys before had, have been in with Grinch before and been in the scheme. Just how comfortable are you, especially even just coaching and technique and other things? Because I'm sure it was some sort of adjustment.
Yeah. Year one, as far as teaching it, that wasn't as, big of it. Just learning how coach calls it, how he thinks. And, you have to go through a season to experience that. But now I kind of got a good feel for how coach is going to call a game. And, I think the players are excited. That's what allowed us to be able to sign some of the guys that we did by putting a product out on the field that allowed the guys to be aggressive and be active up front. And, guys want to play in those type of schemes. So they're eager. They seen what happened last year, and we want to build off of what happened last year. We don't want to go backwards. We want to continue to add on. So it's been pretty good.
Thank you.
Okay, Joey Helmer with OU Insider, and then Kerry Murdoch.
Hey, Calvin, you lose to 3 seniors. Obviously, Neville was a guy that could kind of round up the group and talk to everyone as a leader. Who are you seeing right now that is in that room that's kind of stepping up and being that vocal leader for the
You
guys?
know, LaRon Stokes, he's that quiet leader. He's going to do it by example. You know, he's just one of them guys that, you know, he's never on the list. He's always where he needs to be on the field. And you know, I don't think he's ever missed a, you know, I want to knock on wood, he hadn't missed a practice never. So he's just that guy that you know that's going to get everything done. You know, Perion's an alpha dog, you know. So, you know, between those two, you know, being an alpha and Perion and LaRon just knowing what's expected and how to get things done, I think they've done a pretty good job of, you know, just holding the group accountable.
Okay, let's move to Kerry Murdoch with Sooner Scoop and the Sports Animal, and then Garen Emig.
You were talking about social media, Calvin. I'm curious, would your biggest nightmare be if you were coaching Larry Birdine and had to deal with
There's no telling what Burdine would say on social media. I'm glad that it wasn't out back then. I mean,
he didn't really need it to get in trouble back then.
Oh my God! I mean, Bird had a lot of like book sense. You know, I took courses with him, and he had book sense, but common sense, man. We used to bust him up pretty good about that, man. But shoot, I'm glad it wasn't out back then. Sheesh. Whew. It'd be hard to coach a guy that would just say anything off the rip, man. But you know, these guys have been pretty smart about what they put out there, and you know, we tell them once you press in, you got to own that. You know, there ain't no, I didn't know. You know, you're responsible for pressing sin. So they've done a pretty good job with it.
I didn't have a real football question for you. I just wanted to ask you that.
Oh man!
All right, we'll go to Garen Emig of the Tulsa World.
Well, now that Kerry has brought up Birdine, Calvin, can you in fact say 15 years later whether USC is a 1.5-man team?
Whoo, man! Hey, I love my teammate. Y'all gonna have to get off, man. That's my guy, man. So I love him, man.
I actually do have a question, and it's sort of related to football, and it actually relates back to when you played. Would you have liked to have had a chance as a player to have taken advantage of name, image, and likeness?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, you look up, you know, you're seeing your jersey. You know, I remember the NCAA game. You know, when you were like the player that was blinking, you know, that was pretty awesome deal. So if you're out there making plays and you producing, and there's an opportunity to add on to the value of your scholarship, why not? You know, so it's a good deal, you know, and I'm pretty sure it's still being ironed out, but
yeah.
I think it's a good deal.
Can you see any drawbacks to it, of it happening?
You know, I'm not educated fully on it enough to see what the drawbacks are, but you know, I would imagine there's some plus and some negative in everything, you know.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Okay, and James Hale had one additional question. We will close with him. James, KREF.
Appreciate it. Calvin, in recruiting, you guys have done a tremendous job. Reloading in the defensive line. I'm curious, with Gallimore having so much success, going pretty high in the draft, how much is all that coming together as recruiting, and how much is that benefiting you in the future?
It's been good. You know, you look up to have a guy drafted up front, and then, like I said, just the brand of ball that we play. You know, when they see big guys, you know, getting up the field and attacking gaps and, you know, making plays, you know, that's what sells the most. And you know, big guys up front want an opportunity to be able to make plays. And, you know, obviously anytime you have a guy that has, you know, been drafted, you know, that sells itself. So it's been pretty good. And we want to continue to build. But like I said, Coach Grinch has, you know, been hands-on in recruiting. So, you know, to be able to, you know, between getting Link the phone, between getting Coach Grinch the phone, and, you know, you got weapons. So, you know, and not that we didn't have weapons, but I'm just saying those guys do a great job, and we try to recruit as a family here. So it's been pretty good. You know, it makes you want to go even harder in recruiting to make sure that you know, got the right guys. So